Good evening, welcome. Tonight's stream is Formula 3 as you've come to expect on a Wednesday. It is from Red Bull Ring, or Spielberg I believe it's called in Automobilista, but essentially that is the Red Bull Ring. Qualifying is just starting, the usual 15-minute quali, and as you've come to expect, almost the 45-minute race format means the drivers have to do a pit stop, which adds somewhat to the excitement as the pit stop strategies play out. So, let's not dilly-dally any further, and let's go and join the guys over on TeamSpeak and see some of the action out on track. Hello guys, we're live on the stream. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, see, you've yet to work out the trick of everybody keeps very quiet when I say that, so that I'm kind of going, oh, am I muted? Am I muted? But yes, we are live. Thank you very much, guys, for saying hello. We have a very busy server tonight. We've got 34 sign-ups and 2 reserves. At the moment, only 32 people on the server, so it looks like everybody's going to get to race tonight. I did see briefly Danielle, you're back on. Danielle Matika, thank you very much. I don't know if you got my message, I typed it to you. Please do join the server. As it stands, we have space, so enter qualifying. Danielle, if you can hear me, I can see you've got no mic enabled, but please do join and come and do qualifying. It looks like you're going to get to race with a little bit of luck. Okay, yes, Red Bull Ring tonight, guys. Is the Automobilista name of the circuit Spielberg, is that right?
Yep, it is.
Thank you very much. Yes, qualifying started, 15 minutes quali, 45-minute racing. The fastest driver was Bart Zvenk in qualifying, the only gentleman driver to get into the 124s. In fact, the only driver. There was no other drivers, let alone gentleman drivers, who got into the 24s, but Craig Patterson and Oscar Hardwick were very close behind in the very low 125s, I believe. Oscar, what sort of time did you get? I thought it was in the low 25?
Very, very mid 25.
Oh, mid 25s, apologies.
6/10 off.
Well, room for improvement with qualifying. Usually the track conditions are a little bit better, a little bit more rubber lay down having gone on, so we'll be looking to get some of those faster times. The first 2 drivers have done their out laps, so enough of me talking. Let's go and find a few people out on track. Who should we pick first of all? I think it's only right we pick Bart. Bart set the fastest time in practice. He's coming around the mid-section of the circuit. I did bring up all the corners. Some of them have names, some of them have numbers. I believe there's only 8 turns or classified corners on the circuit, but nonetheless this is a really quality circuit for racing. So I say Bart just coming to the end of sector 2. I think this is a hot lap. It's certainly picking up plenty of traffic and avoiding spinning cars. It's going to be busy and hectic in qualifying. Drivers, I'm sure you know, I don't need to tell you, if you're on an out lap and you see somebody screaming up behind you, please make a way for them. It's going to be busy. You're going to have to be courteous to other drivers to give everybody the best chance of getting their flying lap through without too much hindrance. Oscar Hardwick sets the fastest time, a very low 25. He said he was only in the mids, but 125.2. Will Bart Zvenk pip him into pole position? No, he doesn't, 126.0. But we saw Bart picking up quite a bit of traffic on that lap, so that might explain some of that gap. But a 25.255 for Oscar Hardwick puts him in pole position by 8/10 as it stands at the moment.
Not staying that way.
Oscar Hardwick, we're with him now. We can see the split time from sector 1 there. He was 300ths down on the first split. He's halfway through the second sector now, coming down to the second tightest corner, braking heavily. The camber and the drop of the track there does affect the balance a little bit. This sweeping right-hander, not counting as a corner, and then into the double left-hander, almost a little bit of straight in between, but not much. Nice and smooth on the curves. Then the left-hander, late turning, clips the apex beautifully, just gets that power right on exit. It's in purple. He is 2/10 up give or take. By the end of the second sector, this will see him maybe sneaking into the 24s if he can find another 5 100ths. Last corner to do. Perfect amount of curb, stays within the track limits, very nice indeed. Will he improve his time? I think he's going to. He looked very tidy at the end. 124.972. Congratulations, Oscar, into the 24th, the first driver this evening to do so. Well done, sir. Quality lap. We caught most of it. Thank you very much. So, Tobias Renner. Tobias is with us tonight. He has just snuck himself onto the front row of the grid into second place for Tobias, 125.6 top speed of 144 miles an hour. Now, Oscar seems to have picked up a top speed of 186 miles an hour. I'm not sure how he's managed to do that. I imagine that's a in-game glitch rather than an actual top speed.
A racer to keep up.
Indeed. There's somebody else actually, Jazz. Jazz, you're also in the 180 top speed mile an hour. No idea why Dinhut's telling me that, but yeah, 140 to 145 seems to be the correct top speeds that most drivers are achieving. So I say we're with Tobias. He's on another hot lap, having made it onto the front row. 7/10 currently separating Tobias in second and Oscar in pole. Bart Zverink has improved upon his time, I think, a little bit. He's in third place at the moment. Dan O'Neill in fourth, but still 9.5 minutes on the clock, so I'm expecting to see a few more fast laps turned in.
Oh my god.
Check the lap times for 8th and 9th.
One bullet, 3 drivers.
Wow. That's a pretty close race, guys. Sergio Quattrocchi and Edward Rocket, 8th and 9th place, have exactly the same time. If you look at the split times there, 8th and 9th are identical gaps down from Tobias Renner, who we're watching at the moment. Tobias had a green time. He's improved. A very nice improvement for Tobias. We just watched most of that. 125.2, just a shade under 3/10 slower than Oscar Hardwick. Really nice lap, Bart. I'm glad we caught that. Let's move to third place Bart Zverink once again. He is coming toward the end of the second sector. Let's see if we get a split time on this one. No, it's not showed us it, so I'm not sure if there's an out lap for him or not. Stick with Bart Zverink for a little longer.
It's an lap, yes.
Is an out lap, thank you, Bart. So we'll stick with Bart. This is his out lap, so we'll stick with him. And he looks like he's got a little bit of clear track ahead of him. Yeah, he's got Olivier Lewis, but he's quite some way down the track, so with a bit of luck, Bart will get a nice run on his hot lap. So here we go, over that start-finish line as we commence his flying lap. Turn 1. You can take a bit of curb on the inside, but you've got to be careful on the outside. Bit of traffic coming up. Theo's on the outside. I'm sure he's going to let him through. Theo's on just coming out of the pits. Thank you, Theo. Appreciated. Bartzwank now coming to the end of Sector 1, which primarily just consists of this straight and turn 1. Let's see his split time. It's an improvement for Bartzwank. He is 2.5 tenths up on his personal time. It wasn't a purple split time though, so he hasn't improved on the best first sector time, which I believe is set by Oscar Hardwick at the moment. So he's screaming down kind of the second straight, the back, the straight as it were. This circuit made up of 3 straights. You got the start finish straight, then the long straight after turn 1. Oh, mistake there for Bartzwank. That's a shame. He's pushing the limits and he just ran slightly over the curb and onto the grass, and that upset the balance of the car. So a shame, because that was looking good for Bart, but nonetheless, I'm sure we'll be out again in a few moments for another flying lap. So we're riding now with Sergio. Sergio had an identical time to Edward Rocket a few moments ago, but he's moved up a little bit since then. Sergio, a 125.8. He's in 5th place at the moment. Just trying to locate Sergio on the track map. Sorry, 6th place, because Paul Legale has just snuck into 5th ahead of him. Yes, Sergio, who is just come over the second sector, coming towards the end of the circuit. 2 more corners to go. A few people saying hello on chat, or one person saying hello on chat. Williams F1 team fan Simon is here tonight, and we have 20 million people watching already, as we are 6.5 minutes left in qualifying. Does Sergio improve? Let's see his time as he heads across that start-finish line. 25.8, his previous best. There may have been an out lap for him because no time was set, either that or he violated track limits. We'll stick with Sergio a little longer.
Search bias.
No worries.
Oscar still in pole, Tobias in second, Bart Zverink in third, very close between third and fourth and 5th, and 6th in fact. 3rd to 6th are separated by just 53 thousandths of a second. That's 4 places and 53 thousandths of a second. Johnny Statros is in 7th place. He's only a couple of hundredths behind as well. And Matt Legale just 7 hundredths behind. So pretty much a 10th separating a 3rd to 8th as it stands at the moment. In fact, we're just looking at the split times. We've got 9th place and 10th place, a 3rd to 10th now, separated by approximately 2/10. Very, very close at the upper end of the field. Sergio just backing off the pace there a little bit, caught up a little bit of traffic or made a mistake. I wasn't quite watching because I was looking at the standings. He certainly backed off the pace. So let's see who else we can pick up on. Craig Patterson, he has set a good time. He's up there now in 3rd place. He's in the pits at the moment, just heading out on an outlap. We've just caught him heading out of the pits. 25.4 for him as it stands at the moment. We've now got the camera just at the end of the start-finish line. Fiorella there just running through in the blue and black car. Theo van der Brink coming around turn 1. Theo not in the top 20 at the moment, can't see his name, so I'm sure Theo will be improving that. Johnny Stathos just coming through. Let's switch now down to Johnny Stathos. He's in 8th place at the moment. So I'd say this circuit made up of 3 straights. You've got the start-finish straight, you've got this long straight heading down to the hairpin that Johnny Stathos is currently on, and then after the hairpin we've got the 3rd shortest straight, but again that's into a heavy braking zone down a hill as well, so it extends that braking zone a little. So 3 places really, 3 key places to overtake, into turn 1, into turn 2 and into turn 3.
Sorry, whoever that was.
And to 2nd gear for Johnny, gets that turn in nicely, just the right amount of curb on exit. Not getting any split times at the moment. Oh, we're getting one now for the end of sector 2. We're wanting Green for an improvement on his own personal best. It is Green, 3/10 off the fastest time. That's a very good split indeed for Johnny Stathos. I don't know which driver that was, but a very generous driver moving out the way, as does Sven-Arne Andersen. I caught his name. Those 2 drivers moving over, letting Johnny through on his flying lap. It's looking very quick indeed. He could move up 3 to 4 places, if not more, if he gets this last sector nailed just inside the track limits, fighting the back of the car as he comes through the last corner. 124.9 at 7.2 is the best time from Oscar. Oh, what a nice lap to catch. We caught all of that from Johnny Stathos up into 4th place. 125.631 for Johnny. Nice improvement. And he now leads that group of drivers that ranges really from 4th place down to 11th place, give or take, all within 3/10 of each other. Very nice driving. Johnny, thank you for giving us that lap. Well done, sir. Who else is now out on track? 6th place, Dan O'Neill's coming across the start-finish line. This looks like a fast lap for him, so we'll see if he improves. 25.8, no, there's no improvement. We'll stick with Dan and we'll switch to the trackside camera as he goes around turn 1. That car, pinpoint accuracy on the curbs, staying within the track limits, within the white lines, not running too wide on the exit of turn 1. You see the marble build up down there on the 2nd straight of the circuit into the hairpin. It's purple split time for Dan O'Neill. He'll set the fastest first sector. He definitely did nail turn 1, which is pretty much all the first sector is made up of. So 9 hundredths quicker than anybody else for Dan O'Neill in sector 1. This could be an improvement for Dan if he can keep this going. Down to the braking zone for turn 3.
Blue flag.
That looks tidy. Sorry, Oscar.
Yellow flag.
Never mind.
Dan is now thoroughly into the midsection, the twisty section, coming up to the end of the 2nd sector. It's green for him. He's no longer got purple split times, but just 2/10 down on Oscar Hardwick's time by the end of the 2nd sector. If he can keep this up, he'll be improving by at least 1 place, I would think, as Bart Zarek is just 16. I was about to say he's just 16, but he just put in a slightly quicker time. He's pretty much bang on a 10th quicker than Dan O'Neill is Bart Zarek. Still looking incredibly tidy for Dan O'Neill. Comes down over that start-finish straight. Does he improve? We didn't get a split time there. I think he's over the time, so either a track violation or something happened there. It wasn't an improvement. We got no split time, which is a shame because it was looking better at the early parts of that lap. But we'll stick with Dan O'Neill because he's clearly going to stick out on this fast lap now, this second attempt. And there's no traffic ahead of him, so his chances of improving once again if he can put that up together. I'm going to say wide on that one. Never mind, Dan.
I didn't get a warning on that lap.
I didn't see any. Did you not get a time set or anything? Because I didn't see any time come up. So maybe it was just slower, or maybe you
must be slower.
Maybe it was just slower. Sometimes the split time on DIN-HUD does go wrong, so it's not unheard of for it to say no time when not because it's invalid, but for DIN-HUD reasons. Who else is still out on track? We've just got 30 seconds on the clock. Craig Patterson, he is out at the moment. He's in second place. This is going to be his absolute last lap, last attempt at doing a hot lap. Somebody was just saying that I think fastest first sector. Didn't hear who that was though.
Yeah, it was mine. I think the last attempt I did fastest first sector, right?
Okay, thank you, Manos. Manos in 7th place, just trying to pick him out.
I'm asking, I don't know.
Oh, you're asking if you did do. I didn't to catch it. I'd have to go and have a check in the timing.
According to my GitHub, it's Steve Legales with the fastest first sector.
Wow, well done, Steve Legales. He's down in 18th place.
We haven't about the other two.
Indeed, Steve.
Dan, if I catch you on this lap, please can you hop off the line?
Clearly wrong because Oscar's 20.4.
How much fuel do we need, guys?
You'll need to, I don't know how much it is overall, but you will need to stop. It's a mandatory pit stop tonight, but you'll need to anyway because you'll run out of fuel without it. 2 tyres, I believe, is a minimum amount of tyres. I'm sure somebody will help you out with fuel levels in a moment.
I'm running with 50 litres, Jazz, for the whole race, but that's probably too much.
Too much?
Yeah, probably, but I always like to be a little bit sort of sure.
We have to refuel anyways now.
You'll certainly need extra fuel.
Yes.
Craig, you've probably got some fuel advice. Craig, I know you were on a hot lap there, but went wrong on the last corner. We got any fuel advice, Craig?
About 60 litres should be enough for me. Well, I think 60, 65 should be enough.
Didn't you just say 50, Steve? Oh, I missed here.
50 or 65?
A full tank for me did 34 minutes. So 20 litres, that's about 15, 16 minutes.
So, how much do you need?
So overall, how much do you need?
It's 45.
40 and 25.
I'm taking 60 litres.
60 litres, there you go. How you split it is up to you, but 60 in total is Craig's choice for fuel. So
warm-up lap is there as well.
Yes, don't forget the formation lap. We'll quickly go through the standings. Server's going to roll over to warm up any moment. Oscar Hardwick nailed his fastest lap, 124.9. We saw it, or most of it anyway. The only driver to get into the 24s. Congratulations, Oscar, for your pole position. Joining him on the front row will be Craig Patterson, just a smidgen out of the 24s with 125.0. The timings are gone because the server's rolled over to warm up, but we have Alexei Spirichev. I didn't catch any of Alexei's laps, which is a shame, but Alexei Spirichev in second place. Oscar, did you get disconnected then, sir?
No, I'm leaving to turn stuff down.
Okay, no problem. Yes, obviously, when Oscar joins back on the server, I thought you had a technical issue there for a moment. When Oscar joins back on the server, he will regain his pole position when he comes back on the server. You got 3 minutes, give or take, probably a bit longer, Oscar, to do so.
Oh, it's okay. I'm already rejoining now.
Excellent stuff. Tobias Röner then in third place. Paul Legale.
And 4.
We didn't catch Paul's lap at all. Well done, Paul. Nice lap there. Well, you'll be... Sorry, all of these are going to be one down, sorry, because Oscar will rejoin and take the pole. So, correction there. Alexei Spirichev will be third once Oscar rejoins. Tobias will be fourth. Paul Legale in fifth when Oscar rejoins. Johnny Statros in sixth. Bart Zanik in seventh place. Manos Pepangelu 8th. Dan O'Neill will be 9th. Matt Legale in 10th place. A nice lap for Matt Legale in the top third of the grid there. 9th place. Tuomas Lankinen. You know I like to say watch out for Tuomas. He's in the top third of the grid as well. Get a room. Yes, indeed. Tuomas Lankinen in 11th place when Oscar rejoins. Sergio, we caught some of his laps. He's in 12th. Olivier Lewis in 13th. Edward Rocket. Well done, Edward. 14th place for you, sir. Tomas Fernandez in 15th. Steve Kenwood. Oh, you picked up a little bit of pace, Steve. I think you were saying you were struggling earlier on.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Steve in 16th place once Oscar gets back on the server. Amadeo Fiorella in 17th. Jazz in 18th. Steve Legale, the second of the Legale clan, in 19th place. Jean-Pierre Père 20th. Theo, normally a little bit quicker, maybe not quite got up to speed at the moment. He's in 21st at the moment. Carl Dubois 22nd. Stuart Gillard, 23rd. Paul Fenwick in 24th. Jakob Skov in 25th. Joan Lopez, 26th. Ludberto in 27th. Richard Lee, 28th. Fabrice Bourguignon in 29th. Ronnie Van Rouge in 30th. Daniel Matika in 31st. Great to have Daniel on. He was a reserve, but we've let him on the server because I am the additional driver taking up the naughty 35th spot. Sven Arne Andersen in 32nd. Oscar's back on the server. And
it should put me back when we go to
it will do when we go to race, yes indeed. Where to get to? Sven Arne in 32nd. Ingemar Peterson didn't do a qualifying lap, I don't think, in 34th he will be, and then I will be the 35th driver. See Oscar Hardwick, as I say, just at the end of the standings there. That's just because he rejoined the server. He should be put in pole position, or I sincerely hope he is, when the race comes round in just over a minute's time. Somebody says, my eyesight must be weird. Do I see 3 Legale? I only saw 2. Unless somebody else is racing.
Steve, Paul and Matt.
3.
Oh yes, of course, yes. Apologies, yes. My word, the whole clan. I also found out today that for the retro event, the Formula Retro event on Monday, we have half a grid of Legale. The whole of Guernsey must be racing on Monday. You're going to struggle with that internet bandwidth across the ocean, aren't you? You'll be using it all up.
Nah. Yeah, we got people outside pedaling.
Indeed. Oh, quick question from Paul H on the chat. 45 minutes. How long is the race? Was this question? 45 minutes is the race. There is a formation lap.
I might be up to 3 now you've said that.
Yes.
Someone's just asked in the in-game chat, can we restart the warm-up because their wheels just disconnected?
I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Really sorry, Johnny. If I restart the warm-up, the chance of somebody else having a technical issue is too great with such a big server. I would like to. I can't. I'm really sorry, Johnny. Yeah, sorry. It's such a shame when people have technical issues. But the chance of somebody else. It might, if you're really quick, it might let you still on the warm-up session. You're going to have to be really quick, though. If I restart the warm-up, the chance of somebody else having a problem is too great. I don't think you got on. I don't think you got on, Johnny. Unless it still lets you on because the clock's counting down, it might do. I'm really sorry if that's the case, and I hate to disappoint people, Johnny. Very sorry, sir.
Yeah, no problem.
Good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck, guys.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.
Good luck, all.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Alexei Spirichev just asking how much fuel. 60 litres, Alexei. I'll quickly respond to him. 60 litres. Oh, yeah, somebody else has done. Thank you, Paul, Craig, and Steve, all responding. 30 seconds, guys, just under to get yourselves on the grid. Looks like Johnny is not letting you in. I do apologise. And apologies to viewers. Johnny had a nice qualifying time. It's a real shame to lose somebody just for a technical glitch. Sorry,
lost someone else as well.
I will try maybe and start from the pitch.
If it lets you on the server, you're welcome to start from the pits. I doubt it'll let you in the server, unfortunately, because once it's in race session, it won't let you in usually. Okay, so yes, the server has rolled over. The formation lap will be starting. Get the car out in the pits. Go and find the lead drivers if we can. There we go, Oscar Hardwick leading the field through turn 1. Try and get the camera angle so we can watch them scream down to the hairpin at the bottom here. We'll try and catch the drivers there. You can see them in the distance coming down the long straight here at Red Bull Ring. So there, Oscar Hardwick in the lead, weaving there, getting some heat to tyres. Craig Patterson just behind. Alexei Spirichev takes hold of third. Tobias Röner coming through there. Paul Legale in the same colour car. Mars Papagelou in the nice distinctive blue car. Matt Legale there. Thomas Lankinen, Sergio, Olivier, Edward, Steve Kenwood, Jas Forsberg, Steve Legale, Jean-Pierre Père, Carl Dubois, Theo van der Brink, Mr. Gillard, Paul Fenwick, Jakob Skov, Mr. Lopez, Mr. Lee's there, Ludberto on the inside. The whole field streaming through. We lost 1 or 2. I think it was just Johnny, maybe one other that we lost, but yes.
Jorn Horvath, I think.
Jorn Horvath. Yeah, Johnny, unfortunately, having technical issues with his wheels, lost force feedback, something that I've had happen to me a couple of times. Even with the force feedback reset, doesn't always fix it, unfortunately. And
my game didn't crash
Man, I'm in
today.
front of you. Come on.
I don't know what you're
Come
doing.
on, man.
You're behind me, man.
No,
Steady,
you're,
steady.
you're
Yeah.
8. I'm 7.
It doesn't
Okay,
matter.
there'll be
It
a
doesn't
red
matter.
flag.
it's like there'll be a nice setback. Go,
I don't
steady,
know,
guys,
you-
steady. Keep it calm.
Formation lab.
Formation lap, don't worry about it too much.
fuck?
Just
Take it easy.
careful with the language, guys. Careful with the language.
Uh,
Have a good race, guys. Have fun. See you
Yeah,
next time.
indeed. That's yeah. Sorry to lose you,
Cheers,
Johnny,
Johnny.
and thank you for
Cheers,
the
Cheers, Johnny.
message there. Thank you very much. Yeah, take it easy, guys. It is 45 minutes. It's going to involve a pit stop. There's a huge amount of racing ahead of you. Get through turn 1 and turn 2. That's going to be the particular crunch points, I think. So take it steady. Enjoy that 45 minutes. Of course, you want to pick up those positions, but you don't want to be going out on the early stages either.
Unfortunate choice of phrase, crunch point.
Good luck, guys.
Indeed,
Yeah,
indeed,
good luck,
yes.
Yeah,
So we've got the
Oh,
grid
wait.
just
Good
forming
luck,
up
guys.
in the background. The camera will change in a moment, and then
Go on,
we'll
Sam.
watch the cars
You,
screaming down to turn 1.
Shake and bake, maybe.
Craig,
You
do you know how
know.
to, do you know how
Good luck,
to
guys.
start
Shake and
this?
Have fun.
Good luck.
I don't think I'm going to get off the line very well on this.
Easy on the first lap.
Please be rubbish off the line. That'd be great.
I probably will be.
Oh, Lorenzo. Let's go.
Who's not in their grid box?
Just waiting for the last driver or
Take it
two
easy,
to
your
form
boys.
up. Quick question on there.
box,
So, apparently I'm a biased commentator, and that's Florian Visa telling everybody that I'm
Here we go.
biased. That's because I like Thomas Lankinen. He's my personal favourite. But yes, I am biased. The lights come on, and they're off. The cars set off on the line. Everybody seems to be on the move. No stallers. I don't think Oscar Hardwick got a great start. He's going to have the best line into turn 1. The game just decided to vanish the drivers a little bit there, but we'll pick up with Oscar Hardwick from his rear wing. He makes it in to turn 1 in the lead. Craig Patterson losing a place or two. Alexei Spirichev up into second. Tobias Herrner in third. Craig Patterson now moving up. He's got the inside line. We can see him on the left in the background there. You see him on the left. Heavy braking next to Tobias Herrner. They keep the cars away from each other. A bit of a wiggle from Tobias, but they make it through the corner, and Craig Patterson picks up third place once more as they stream down to the second heavy braking zone, the downhill drop into turn 3. Craig Patterson's got Tobias Herrner on the inside. Manos Papangelo having a cheeky little look on the inside, making sure Tobias knew he was still there. But those places are the same. Sees a few cars going off in the background. Let's move that back. Bit of action in the background. Steve Legale, I think, going off. A few other cars avoiding each other. Very hectic at the back. Take it easy, guys. You've got 45 minutes to make those places up. Go nice and steady. Let's try and keep this as contact-free as we can. Let's move back up to the front of the field then. Oscar Hardwick still out in the lead with Alexei Spirichev currently 5/10 behind. The last corner to go. They've done it and they're onto the start-finish straight. Oscar already pulling out nearly a second on lap 1. Somebody who's always able to get up to race speed as really quickly. Something I always take quite a while to find my race pace and get into the rhythm of a race. But Oscar, no hesitations from him. Already pulled out a second over Alexei Spirichev. We'll move back now to Alexei. He's got Craig Patterson into the slipstream. They're going to have a little look on the inside. He does. Alexei doesn't defend. A little bit of bump in there, but they come through okay. Got to be careful. Damage is not set particularly low tonight. I believe it's around 35% if I remember. Either 35 or 45, I'm not sure.
Come on, eh? Jesus.
Craig on the outside now, having gone outside. That's going to be a difficult one to make stick, and as you can see, Alexei manages to keep the position. Craig Patterson just, well, I'm going to say just 2 tenths behind, but you can see how close he is. Tobias Herrner in the background, a little bit further down the field. We're going to move back now. That's Manos Papangelo and Tobias Herrner having a little battle there. Sorry, not Manos, sorry, Tobias Herrner closing in on the back of Craig Patterson. Well, that's what I meant to say. That will be due to the slight loss of a few tenths as Alexei and Craig battle over second place. A little bit of smoke there from, I think, Alexei's car. Puff of tyre smoke. Edward Rocket there, Matt Legale close behind, Thomas Lankinen having a good bit of a fight, Jazz Forsberg defending against Theo van der Brink. Let's move back to that battle between Jazz Forsberg and Theo. Theo's managed to make it past Jazz on the back straight at the exit of turn 1. Theo also getting a great exit out of turn 1. By the time we switched the camera around, he'd already managed to make the place up. Jazz is not going to be giving the place away that easily, though. He's already having a look, and Theo's already defending the inside line. Jazz forced to go to the outside into the braking zone. Theo's got to be careful. He's almost on the marbles there. Back end sliding slightly. There's a spinner there. They both avoid it. Not sure who that was, but they're doing the right thing and hopefully picking the right moment to rejoin the track. I think that's Edward Rocket. You can see his name going rapidly down. There's contact there between Theo and Jazz, I think. Not sure what happened. I was looking at the standings.
I was keeping my line.
I didn't quite. I wasn't.
Okay, Jess.
Jazz is back on track, I think. Theo. Back down to 23rd place at the moment. Steve Legale, we're following now. He's got Stuart Gillard up in 90th place, who's having a bit of a battle with Fabrice Bourguignon. Steve has got that slipstream, I think, but the problem is so has Stuart Gillard. Now, if they can, Steve can nail turn 1, then he'll have to run down that long straight into the hairpin. That's a good run there through from Steve. He's going to pick up the place, I think, on Stuart Gillard. Stuart's trying to pull to the inside of Fabrice Bourguignon. Oh no, because Stuart's got the slipstream of Fabrice, and Steve had no slipstream. The momentum that Steve managed to carry through turn 1 didn't pay off, but they're side by side into the hairpin. Heavy braking zone. Thank you. Heads up to the battle of 3rd place. Steve Legale remains in 20th, but that battle is still raging between Stuart Gillard and Fabrice Bourguignon. Let's move up to 3rd place then. That is Tobias Röner and Craig Patterson. Tobias managing at some point to find his way past Craig. Craig was in 3rd chasing Alexei, but now Craig's in 4th, losing 1 position to Tobias Röner. Oscar Hardwick managing to pull out a little bit of a gap now, approximately 1.5 seconds separating Oscar and Alexei, then a further 2 seconds between Alexei and Tobias in 3rd place. Patterson making some mistake there, has lost a little bit of time. He's got Manos Papangelou close behind him, so let's switch to the rear wing of Craig rather. Looking back at Manos, Paul Legale, not too far behind either, as they head down to the hairpin once more. Was that Edward, 27th?
Yeah, there's some good stuff happening here.
Thank you very much, sir. We'll move to 27 then. It's very close up the front, but we'll pick up that battle. It's good to get plenty of action from all over the field. Yes, indeed, side by side. Steve Kendall, Sven Arne, Edward Rocket, all fighting over 27th, 28th. And they picked up a few places. There's several places. Some sort of incident happened. Sven Arne up to 24th. Edward Rocket, 25th. Steve Kendall, 23rd. Edward tucked into the slipstream of Sven Arne. Pulls to the inside, got a significant overlap. Jazz Forsberg there, not sure what's going on with Jazz, maybe got some damage. Yes, got no front wing, I don't think. Let's try and pick up on that and help Jazz out if we can.
Yeah, no front wing.
No front wing, thank you very much, Ed. We just caught that. Yes, indeed, Jazz Forsberg, no front wing, trying to keep out of people's way. They're clearly going to be faster through the corners. A very what's the word I'm looking at? Sporting. Thank you, Edward. You should be a commentator, sir. Very sporting behaviour from Jazz as he tries to get his way back to the pits.
In the forum games section, and you'll see that I am advert for everybody else.
Indeed. Okay, where are we now with Tobias Röner going back to the front of the field? There's a bit of a gap opened up. 10th place is a bit of a battle going on. 10th place, that is Sergio Quattrocchi and Olivier Lewis. Just 7/10 separating those two drivers at the moment. Riding now from the back of Sergio's rear wing. So we are 7 or 8 minutes into this race now. Things settling down a little bit. I'm looking at a track map trying to see where the close drivers are. track map is not always up to date and DinHUD is not always the most accurate, but you can usually, with a combination of the two, work out where the close battles are. There looks to be a group of drivers, 13th, 14th, 15th and 16th, very close. 17th place, Stuart Gillard and Steve Galley. Let's switch back to them if we can, quickly as we can. There we go, Stuart Gillard. Yes, we'll see how close they are. Pretty much the closest racing on the track.
What happened there,
3/10 separating Steve and Stuart.
I had an equipment malfunction.
Unlucky.
I should have really practiced the pit stop.
I pulled my headphones out and I was trying to find my bloody lead to put it back in and I've gone off the track.
Do you know, Paul, it's something you never want is an equipment malfunction, or at least that's what she said. Sorry, that's the first one.
I'm going to quit, I'm too far behind now.
Sorry, Paul, I didn't mean to make fun of your misfortune, but we got to get that's what she said in there at some point. Yeah, Paul, problem with the headphones, pulled out the socket unfortunately, and in the process of trying to reconnect, has ended up off track. Sorry to lose you, Paul, but thank you for racing with us tonight. Hope you enjoyed what you did manage to stay out on track 4.
It was going quite well at one point.
Well, what position were you up to, Paul?
Yes, it's a blue flag.
I think you're 21st at that point.
21st then, but I was in about 15th at one point. I made one mistake.
Oh yes, with the closeness of the racing on the early stages. Yes, indeed. Yeah, often the best racing can be had in the midfield as you pick your way through. But yeah, sorry to lose you, Paul, and see you on another race shortly, I'm sure.
Yep, you will do. Have a good race, guys.
Cheers,
Hello, man. Jess!
Wow, sorry, man.
That
Didn't
was
see you
close.
coming. Oh my god.
Jazz, you did that to me as well. Use your mirrors.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move back to Oscar Hardwick out in the lead. Alexei's not letting him get away though. He's held that gap at around 1.5 seconds now for well, we've been running 10 minutes, so that's roughly what the gap's been at for. 1.5 seconds for 10 minutes. He's not able to close it up, but neither is Oscar able to pull away. Craig Patterson now up into 3rd place. I'm not sure what happened to Tobias. I can't see him in the standings at all.
I fucked myself over.
Okay, you effed yourself over. No worries, I can't
sorry,
see. Oh, you're down in 12th place. No worries, it's only a small audience. But we try not to use too many of those naughty words. But I'm sure they'll cope. 30 million we're up to. Yes, 30 million is a very small audience. No worries, Tobias is down to 12th place. Obviously some sort of off-track moment to lose that many places. But nonetheless, it looks like he's having a close battle. He's up to 11th place, I can say. Looks like he's having a close battle with various drivers. Up into 11th place. Matt Legale making possibly a mistake as his name is going down the board very rapidly. Alexei Spirichev, as I say, is holding Oscar at around 1.5 seconds. Craig Patterson is a further 3.5 seconds, give or take, behind him. But Manos has really managed to close up on the back of Craig Patterson. Let's switch to the in-track if I can do. Manos seems to either got some serious lag going on, or Manos is losing places very rapidly. No, it's back up again. I think that's a lag thing, possibly. Yes, Manos is still in 4th place. There is the gap from the driver's eye viewpoint between Manos Papanjoulou and Craig Patterson, just 7/10. Very close indeed. A little bit of smoke there as Craig makes his way around turn 1. Let's stick with Manos for a few corners and see if we can see Manos closing up that gap. And more smoke from the back of Craig. Didn't quite make the apex there, and lighting those tyres up, trying to get the power down. Manos seemed to be much tidier through that hairpin there. Nonetheless, Craig managed to open the gap up just a little bit, just a 10th or 2. Heavy braking zone. Very smooth for Manos.
Caution.
We're hearing the caution flag over the radios. The car off track somewhere. No sign of them, so they must have got themselves back out and rolling.
Oh dear, I appear to be in a Steve sandwich.
My word.
Delicious.
Delicious indeed. That's about the best response you can have. Oh no! Now there's two. For a brief moment there, Edward, you had two Steves on top of you.
Cut back into it.
Gonna say, yeah, you never want to be on have two Steves on top of you, do you? That's most difficult situation to be in.
It's worse. I got one on top of me and one on my back.
Indeed. So let's let's have a quick look at this battle between Steve Legale, Edward Rocket, and Steve
there's
Kenwood.
3 seconds to me and Legale.
Well, I can say there's a battle going on.
Kenwood's right behind me.
Indeed, Steve and Fabrice having a good battle there, just 4 tenths separating the two. If we move back to Edward Rocket, then Steve Kenwood is trying to close that gap down. Oh no, spin, commentator curse. You got time to quickly spin that round. Well done, and you can rejoin there. Well done, Edward. Clean rejoin, very nicely done. Quick 360. He loses only 2 places, I think. So not the end of the world, and Edward could hopefully be able to wheel in Steve Kenwood once more so he can battle again. So we'll move back to Steve Legale, who is side by side with Fabrice Bourguignon. Steve's got the inside line, he's on the marbles, they're well over to the inside in the braking zone. Fabrice able to outbrake him, got the greater grip. Steve certainly giving Fabrice plenty of space, but being so far over is going to hamper the braking performance into that tightest corner on the circuit. 18th place currently for Steve Legale. Oh, a little bit of contact there. Fabrice not maybe quite aware that Steve was on his inside, moving too far over back to the racing line. Nonetheless, they both make it through. A lot of pressure now for Fabrice from Steve. Let's move to the rear wing of Steve. You can see the difference in lines there. Steve was much wider, slower on entry, but you could see the effect on exits. Quick exit for Steve. Once again, Fabrice is fast in and slow out. And that's often what the ladies want, apparently. Isn't that right, Steve?
Fast in, fast out, mate.
Oh, they want both, do they? Okay, fair enough. So what drivers want is also what the ladies want, apparently. I wouldn't know, of course. But Steve Legale has made it up to 17th place. So good, clean.
Races, that's why it's so popular.
Indeed, yeah. Steve Legale up to 17th place, despite my distraction. He is able to keep that overtake going and picks off 16th place from Fabrice.
Lucky.
So looking at the track map, just trying to see where the good racing is. 14th and 15th, 13th and 14th rather. Let's move to that battle. That looks fairly close. See if we can pick up on what's going on. Jakob Skov's got Matt Legale bearing it down upon him into the third corner. Very tidy line there for Matt, and a little twitch from Jakob's rear end of the car means that Matt really closes in as they approach the double left-hander, and a big slide for Matt. He will have lost front end grip. I think that was probably the cause of that one. You can see the car moving around as he closes in onto the back of Jakob's car. Once you get within that sort of half-second a gap between the two cars on the fast corners, you really start to notice the loss of grip. There's also a battle going on for 7th, 8th and 9th. That's Sergio Quattriocchi and Olivier Lewis and Bart Zverink. We're going to switch to that battle because it looks like 3 drivers pretty close. Yes, a second covering those 3 drivers. Let's watch them as they come down to the braking zone into the hairpin. There goes Sergio in the all over red, the black and red for Olivier, and Bart Zverink in the orange and white just behind. Go to the rear wing now. Olivier and Bart making a better go through that hairpin. Olivier just picking up the slipstream and Bart trying to sneak into it as well. Olivier having a little look on the inside, but I don't think he's going to make that pass stick. He hasn't got any overlap, but clearly making his presence known to Sergio. Keeping that pressure on, hoping for a mistake so that he can get an overtake move going. Once again, Olivier much tighter to the apex there. A bit wide on that one, and Bart Zverink is going to capitalise, I think, and close up that gap. Just 2 tenths separating Bart Zverink and Olivier. Olivier's managed to just sneak into the slipstream of Sergio. I sense that maybe Sergio is running a much higher downforce setup. By the way, Olivier's managed... Oh no, Bart spins in the background. Runs wide, gets on the marble, spins. He's managed to do the full 360. I think maybe he's... No, you can say I thought he did a 360, but not quite. Daniel Matika pulls over to let this battle go through. Very courteous driving, sportsman-like driving from Daniel Matika. Shane Bart's qualified very well, but clearly having problems in the first half of this race. As we approach the first half, 27 minutes left on the clock of the 45-minute race. Once again, Olivier Lewis having a look on the inside. Sergio outbrakes himself, but Olivier fails to get the power down cleanly. Sergio comes out of that hairpin the better.
I'll do it all again.
Ah, Matty.
How many track limit pings is it before a penalty?
3,
and then everyone after that, and everyone after that.
I only know because I'm on my limit.
You got some clean drives to do. That's the annoyance. Sometimes you pick one up from a spin.
Rear tyres.
Is that Oscar? Is that Oscar saying that?
Nope.
No.
No, it's Edward.
Edward, sorry.
Like 4 spins now, and my rear tyres are just dead from spin.
Oh no! Oh no!
Early pit stop on its way then.
Now, just looking at the split times there, we've got Oscar Hardwick still out in the lead, but that gap has now opened up a little bit. 5 seconds separating now Oscar and Alexei. I'm not sure if traffic has played a little bit on that, as the leaders are making their way through the field at various points, but nonetheless.
Pit stops.
Say again, sorry, Oscar.
What's the rule on pit stops? Do I need to do anything other than take fuel?
You mandatory 2 tyres. You must take at least 2 tyres. The tyres are really pretty quick on these, so that will make minimal difference. I would not advise you too strongly, but I think even 4 tyres is pretty quick if anybody's sporting enough to advise.
8 seconds stop for tyres and fuel, 8 seconds.
8 seconds for everything, basically, yes. Oscar.
You're going to gain more time from... You're going to lose less time from changing the tyres than if you don't, because you're going to have lots of wear by the end of the race.
That would seem to be the consensus.
I know how many seconds I want to be ahead by the pit stop.
Indeed. Okay, so great feedback for Oscar there. Thank you very much, guys. 8 seconds for a stop. He's looking to try and get that 8-second gap, so that even if Alexei were to say you take the minimum 2 tyres, and maybe Alexei's been on a full tank, so he needs very little fuel as well, then Oscar will be hoping that despite the worst case scenario, I guess, for him, he would still come out in the lead. That gap now opening up to around 6 seconds between Oscar Hardwick and Alexei. Craig Patterson only a second behind Alexei as well, so Alexei's got to be careful. Let's switch to his rear wing. Yeah, we can see that gap is not very big at all. Manos is currently in 4th place. There's a little bit of breathing space for Craig.
Where I'll be pitting this lap.
Got it?
I'll be pitting this lap.
Yo.
One of the first people to do a pit stop, I think. Sounds like Steve Legale will be in the pits shortly. We're keeping an eye on the leaders. Even with a full tank, I think the most you can do is about 32 minutes of racing. We have had 20 minutes of racing so far. So they're on to, even with a full tank, they'll be into the last third of fuel that they've got. Craig Patterson managing to close it up now to just 0.6 between second and third. Just having a look at some of the chat messages. They're a little out of date from 14 or 15 minutes ago, but it's a pleasure to have you, Florian, watching the stream tonight. Patrick is with us. Pat, thank you very much for watching tonight. Thank you for the heads up, Edward. Manos Spinner was in 4th place, I think. That means Tuamus. Now, we haven't given Tuamus any screen time, but you know Tuamus is my little favourite. Craig Patterson in the pits. Thank you, Craig. So Craig in the pits. Tuamus will be up into 3rd any moment. We can hear him going down that start-finish line. Indeed. So Craig and Dan O'Neill through, Sergio through, Olivier through. Now Craig will be wanting a little bit of clean track. I think he's just going to come out ahead of Manos, which will give him a bit of clean track ahead of him. If he can get round, is out of the pit restriction. Yeah, Craig, that's quite a convenient stop for Craig. He's got clean track. If we switch to his driver's eye viewpoint, look, there's not a car in sight, and he's got plenty of time to get it up to speed before the next driver, which is Paul Legale, comes through behind him. So a nice bit of clean track. It was a good stop for Craig. Looks like it could work out really nicely for him. Oscar Hardwick we need to keep an eye on now. We can see some activity in his pit crew. He might be pitting soon. Don't know, this could be one of the standard dummy techniques that the pit crew uses to indicate that maybe they're coming in. It's all part of the the sneakery, whatever you want to call it, trying to throw others off the scent. But there's certainly activity in his pit. Yes, Oscar Hardwick is into the pit. He's got to get that, just take the driver's eye viewpoint. He races towards that limit line, got to get the car down to speed. He does it to 50 mile an hour, the limit, I believe, tonight. It's in his box.
Can confirm it is.
Thank you very much. Alexis Puchev, he was in second place. He's also in. Oscar's car's down off the ramp, and he's on the move again. Thomas Lanklin coming in close behind. Where is Craig Patterson? That's the thing to watch out for. Oscar's on the move. Let's move to Craig Patterson. He's screaming down that start-finish line, but Oscar Hardwick is already out and on the second straight. So a good stop for Craig and a good stop for Oscar means that gap remains at a
Craig actually jumped Alexei, I think.
Okay, thank you. I thought there was something else. Alexei has lost a place. Thank you very much for the heads up on that, Oscar. Yeah, Oscar was in first when he went into the pits, and my mistake, Craig was in third, but he's now up to second. So that pit stop strategy for Craig has played well for him, and I think he may have picked up a little bit of time on Oscar as well. It did seem like a quick stop, but we'll have to wait to see how that pans out. Currently running at about 6.5 seconds. Thank you, Oscar. Yeah, about a second. So Sergio is in the lead, and he has got a raging battle just behind him. Dan O'Neill, Olivier Lewis are all within a second of each other, and that currently is a fight for the lead. Oscar Hardwick would love these guys to all pit in before he closes that 2.7 second gap and has to fight for position. Dan O'Neill's ear down, so is Olivier Lewis, but Sergio stays out for another lap. Sven Arne Anderson just coming up to be lapped by Oscar. Oscar will pick up a bit of the slipstream. You see him just pulling out the two specks in the distance, but Oscar pulls out to take that position. Oscar Hardwick now 3 seconds behind Sergio. Sergio, though, has yet to pit, but there does appear to be activity in Sergio's pit box as well. His crew starting to get the tyres out. Maybe we're coming in this time. Well, once again, is it a dummy move? Oscar came out in a little bit of traffic. Craig had a lap of peace and quiet to get heat back into those tyres. Sergio is one of the few drivers yet to pit. We've had 25 minutes of racing. 32 minutes is pretty much the limit. So there won't be a lot of fuel in his tank. So we'll have 26 minutes racing plus the formation lap. So he will be getting pretty close to vapours if he went out with a full tank. So he's come to the end of the second sector. Just a couple more corners to go, and we will know whether he's going to dive into the pit lane. He's got some space in front of him, so the next driver for him to pass is the 24th place driver. He may want to stick out for another lap if he's got the fuel. Let's see what happens. No, Sergio, the leader, is in the pits, so that'll allow Oscar back through into the lead, is where he was before he did his pit stop. Let's switch to Oscar. Try and look at those split times, see where the fights are happening. It seems to be Dan O'Neill, Jean-Pierre Père, Tobias Röner are all having a good battle. Or in fact, it's Tobias and Jean-Pierre. Now with the rear wing of Jean-Pierre, Tobias pulls to the inside. Unfortunately, that means he's not going to get the slipstream. He was so close, he had to pull it to the inside already. As you can see, Jean-Pierre was able to just drive away from him down that start-finish straight. Jean-Pierre might be running a much lower wing setup. Sorry, meaning he's got more straight line speed. Sergio Quattrocchi just coming out the pits. He was the man who was in the lead when he came in. This is for position. Sergio on cold tyres. Tobias and Jean-Pierre all managed to make it through before Sergio can get up to full race speed. Tobias may be running a much higher wing setup then, because as soon as he pulls out of the slipstream, pulls out, he had a little bit of momentum and he's losing that momentum straight away. But he's got the braking zone. He outbrakes himself a little bit, but he looks like he's going to make it stick. Well done, Tobias. A position picked up. The next two corners will be critical for him. If he can make that move count, he does. Later on, the break-in doesn't quite make the apex, or just about makes the apex, but Tobias is through picks up 6th place of
I'm not gonna
Jean-Pierre.
fight you.
Okay, mate.
I want to see if we can get to Paul. Oh, Paul?
Oh, you can get to me.
Alright.
So once again, we're riding from the back of Jean-Pierre's rear wing. Sergio moving around. Oh, that would be why Jean-Pierre was a little bit slower. He was yet to pit. Not a lot of fuel, but old tyres. And that's why the other guys were making time up on him rather with their fresh tyres on the car. So the look like, let's move up to the leaders. This is Craig Patterson. He's got Alexei just 2 seconds behind. Craig managing to take 2nd place off Alexei due to pit strategy. Alexei will be looking to close that gap down. It's hovering around 2 seconds, so we'll keep an eye on that gap. Trying to look further down the field to see where the battles are. Oscar still holding the gap at around 6 seconds, so Oscar and Craig very
21st.
consistent in lap times. Thank you, Edward, for the heads up. Let's move to 21st. Edward knows about it because it's Fabrice and Edward Rocket battling for 21st place. Just 7/10 separating those two drivers at the moment, and Joan Lopez and Steve Kenwood look to be pretty close. Let's give those two a bit of screen time as well. Yes, or is it 3 drivers in fact? Yes, so it's Carl Dubois in 16th place, Joan Lopez in 17th, Steve Kenwood in 18th. Those 3 drivers in a second of each other. We switch to the rear wing if we can of Carl Dubois' car. Joan Lopez tucked into the slipstream. You can see that gap closing. Steve Kenwood losing out just a little bit. Joan Lopez having a little look on the inside. Carl Dubois will know he's he's there. We'll have seen him in mirrors. As those two battle, that really allowed Steve Kenwood to close up, and now Joan Lopez has got to be careful. He wants to make his way past Carl Dubois, but a mistake which he makes is going to gift the position to Steve Kenwood. So Steve Kenwood up into 17th place. Joan Lopez loses a position. Ludberto there off on the side of the circuit in the gravel trap. Let's see how they make it through these last 2 corners. A good run through the last corner would mean that Steve might be in the slipstream down that start-finish straight.
Watch out, yellow flag.
Steve seemed to be quick there, not only just in the slipstream. Not going to make it close enough by the end of start-finish straight, but then we have the longest straight of the circuit into the hairpin. All late on the braking, my word. Steve Kenwood's got that corner nailed. He didn't even particularly make it nice and close on the apex. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't bad, but he wasn't perfect. And nonetheless, the speed he carried through that circuit was quite was quite impressive. Steve on the inside, on the braking zone. And yes, indeed, looks like he's going to make the move stick. Yes, Carl Dubois now down to 16th place. Steve Kenwood up into 15th place.
I think Alexei got a drive-through.
Thanks, man.
Okay, I think that was Craig Patterson just giving us the heads up. Yes, Alexei Spirichev has lost some time, gifting 3rd place to Tuomas Lankinen. Now you know, viewers, why I like to go on about Tuomas so much. It's not just because he's my extra special friend. It's indeed. It's also because he always manages to make up significant places in the race. We haven't given Tuomas much screen time, but he has been picking off drivers as maybe they make mistakes or things go wrong. So 3rd place now for Tuomas. Alexei picking up a drive-through penalty is in 4th place, just 3.5 seconds behind. Looking at Craig and Oscar, has the gap closed? No, it hasn't. Sorry, it's done the opposite. An extra half-second gap for Oscar. Now that if we have a quick look at the track map there, so that could be because of laps drivers just affecting the lap times just a little bit. But if anything, that would affect Oscar more than Craig, as Oscar is the first driver to have to make the overtake happen.
Alright, that's from me, guys. Have a nice race.
Cheers.
Oh, no worries, Manos. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, nothing. I crashed. I don't know. I had crashes on my legs. I don't know, and I went off. Technical issues, so.
You got getting hesitation, stutter, because I've just started to get that myself.
I'm getting that
Turn
Dinhard. Grid Dinhard.
Turn Dinhard off, guys.
How do you do that?
Number 5 key. Just turn it off. You can use the in-game speedo will still work if you want to use
sound.
that. Yep, turn. Yeah, everybody
Awesome,
seems to be
cheers.
getting that. We've had that once or twice before. I've got to try and remember what the key is to change. There we go. I can see the standings. So, guys, I will be reliant on you to let me know where the battles are because I've got a minimal HUD now to see what's going on. Try and get the. There we go. So we're riding with Bart Zoink. We can see there just on the split times, just on the right-hand corner viewers. Apologies, we're getting a bit of lag there. I just a bit of stutter. Just noticed myself, and one of the other drivers noticed that as well. So 7th place, Bart Zoink. We're riding with. He's got Sergio in 8th place, 3.5 seconds behind. But I think Tobias, yes, Tobias is having an overtake there with a lap driver.
Every time with this corner,
If you're getting a bit of lag, just if you haven't turned dinner HUD off already, turn it off.
I did, but every time at that corner, I get a hiccup.
The hairpin, there seems to be some sort of stutter sometimes.
So guys, don't be afraid to tell me where the battles are because I will be really struggling. Got no track map, no nothing. I might be able to turn on the track display. Yes, turn on the track gap display. Now you can see that bar on the bottom.
What number's that?
Number 4 key, if it's the default. 9th key, 4 key. 9th place rather looks to be having maybe a bit of a battle. Yes, that's Matt Legale and Theo van der Brink that switched to the rear wing. And Paul Legale, I think, yes, those 3 drivers 1.5 seconds apart. Theo trying to close that gap very clean through there. He's got a run on the Matt Legale, I think. Closing that gap now to just 6/10 as they go into that start-finish straight.
I have a serious lag problem.
Press the 5 key, turn off DIN HUD, number 5 key, press it. Didn't see who that was. Is it Bart? I'm not sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. Theo van der Brink pulls to the inside down the longest straight on the circuit into the hairpin. He's got it on the braking zone, he has. Oh, Matt Legale turns in behind him. Little bit of rubbing on the rear of his car, but he pulls straight out to have a look on the inside into turn 3. Matt's got the significant overlap there. Theo's trying to find his way through this. Sven Arne Anderson ahead. That is close driving, guys. But you're both making it work at the moment. So Matt Legale not managing to pick up the place. Theo van der Brink defending into this double left-hander. Running a little bit wide, doesn't make the apex. Matt's going to have some momentum here. We'll switch to the rear wing of Theo van der Brink. There we go. Oh, Matt's got a great run through. He's got the overlap already. Fully side by side pretty much. Well, a little bit of contact, but it's certainly unintentional. It might just have been lag related, but Matt Legale takes that place back. Some great racing, but watch out because Paul Legale now wants in on the action indeed. Paul's having a look. A Legale sandwich for Theo. Oh, the worst nightmare I can imagine is a Legale sandwich. It's Paul Legale. Even worse than a Steve sandwich, yes. It's that Guernsey sauce. Nobody wants the Guernsey sauce, do they? but Paul Legale is pressuring Theo van der Brink. This is all over 10th place. Paul pulls out the slipstream on the inside. Theo will not be able to make that stick around the outside, I don't think, although he's making a good attempt of it. A bit of a wiggle from the back end, and Paul Legale takes the position. Theo tucks himself back into the slipstream. I don't think he's going to get the run down into turn 3. He's having a little look, making sure Paul knows he's there. In the mirrors, a little bit of smoke off the rear tyres of Paul's car. I think it was the rears. Could have probably more likely to be the inside fronts, actually. Matt Legale, though, despite Paul and Theo battling away, Matt hasn't been able to capitalise on that opportunity and pull away into lead. Sorry, Craig, what did you say?
Alexei's in the pits again.
Alexei, it looks like a second drive-through or possibly pit stop for Alexei Spirichev. It's a shame he was doing another drive-through. So clearly hit his track limit violations limit, which is 3, and every one after that will give him a drive-through penalty.
I'm on my last warning.
I'm on my last as well.
So yeah, I had to do a drive-through. I've not had an off-track yet.
Aren't you lucky yesterday?
Who just said that? Because I can go and block him and push him off so he gets some
No, that would be frowned upon. The Oscar obviously driving very cleanly and smoothly, not had any off-track moments.
I got another drive through.
Oh, got it. Unlucky, mate.
I got like 0 through the whole race, then I got 3 in one lap and did my 4th one in the next.
Was that Matt Legale saying you got a drive through? I didn't quite see.
Nah, Paul.
Paul, sorry, Paul. I didn't quite see who it was.
My second one.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Paul. And nonetheless, you got to enjoy that battle between yourself and Theo.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'll stick with him for a couple of laps.
Yeah, enjoy it for a little bit longer. You got 3 laps to serve it, so yeah, I think you get a warning on the last lap says you must serve it the next time round. Okay, let's try and have a look at where the battle is. Well, let's move back up to the leader. That should still be Oscar. Yes, it is. The gap has opened up now to 7.8 seconds, rounding off around 8 seconds gap. Tuomas Lankinen is in 3rd place. He is 20 seconds back from the leader. Alexei Spruchev, he's had a couple of drive-thrus and now he's got Olivier Lewis just 1.7 seconds behind. Bart Zarink is also in that kind of zone on the track, a further 4 seconds behind Olivier. Tobias Röner is in 7th place, just 2.5 seconds behind 6th place Bart. Looking at the track map, trying to see where the close battle is. Does still seem to be 9th, 10th, 11th, which is that battle between the 2 Legales and Theo van der Brink. As I say, it's a shame Paul picked up a drive-through, so that battle won't be for much longer. But I'm sure Matt and Theo will continue it for as long as they can. In fact, we're switching now to Matt Legale and Paul Legale. The Legale brothers battling it into the hairpin, I think, is what they're approaching. Paul on the inside. He's enjoying this battle whilst he can. He's got 3 laps to sell that penalty. The standard over and under, though, for Matt Legale. He repeats the move. Paul runs a little bit wide as he carries the momentum through the corner. And Matt comes back up on the inside. Once again into turn 3. Paul having a little cheeky look. He's got the overlap. Can he get the speed wiped off? He does, and standing over and under again almost, but Paul is going to have the advantage as they come to the double left-hander. Paul will have the inside line. This could be where Paul manages to make the move stick. Oh, there's a bit of run on the curb, but such a shame. Matt Legale goes back through. Great racing, guys, very good racing. Matt Legale then up into 9th place. It's a shame you touched the curbs there on the apex, Paul, because you had the inside line, but nonetheless, really good racing. Pleasure to watch. So that was 9th place Matt Legale and 10th place Paul Legale battling there. And Paul pulls into the pits to serve his drive-through penalty. Theo van der Brink then in the background. He is just 1.7 seconds behind Matt. He'll be looking to try and get that gap closed up and get involved in that battle once again. So I can't see how long we've got on the clock. Let me see if I can find out. 4 minutes. Thank you. Yep, 4 minutes 32 seconds as it stands at the moment. Oh, we have another follower. Oh, not another follower. Our first follower of the evening. Thank you very much, Bivos. Bivos, can we have a cheer for Bivos? Bivos! Yay! Thank you, Bivos. We've got 24.
Bivos, you ledge.
Indeed. Bivos is our first follower this evening. We are up to 2,351 followers. Thank you very much. Anybody else watching of the 24 million people who are watching the streams either on Twitch or YouTube, then please do, if you're on Twitch, click that follow button. If you are on YouTube, watching on YouTube, then click the subscribe button. I don't get notifications on subscribes on YouTube, but I do on Twitch. So if you want to shout out, you got to follow on Twitch.
The story of my race has been have a spin, overtake Fabrice Bourguignon, repeat about 4 times now.
Okay, no.
Well, repeat as in have a spin, go behind Fabrice and overtake him, and then
again.
Have another spin. That's the 4th time I've overtaken him after a spin. It's been a disaster for me.
So we've just
seeing how confused he is.
Indeed, well, that was Steve Canton we just heard over of the pit radios. And talking of Steve, we are riding from the rear wing of Jean-Pierre Père as Steve Kenwood closes that gap. It's now just down to 3/10. A little, just clipped the dirt there that upset the line through the last corner, but nonetheless, he still managed to carry a bit of momentum through. Now the key opportunity, I think, for Steve is if he can get turn 1 perfect. Whoa! I was about to say, yeah, it's a shame, Steve. Plenty of time, I think, space to rejoin the track. Steve very late on the brakes, so just out-broke himself. I hope that wasn't commentator curse, Steve. Nonetheless, you retain 14th place. But be aware, Carl Dubois.
Not for long.
You can say Carl Dubois is on the outside. Steve defending hard on the inside line. Caldebar makes it stick, so that's going to be the battle, I think, to watch. We're looking for the close battle. Jean-Pierre Père. I don't know why Jean-Pierre. I don't know if something went wrong with Jean-Pierre Père there. Did you see what happened, Steve? You picked up that place on Jean-Pierre Père again, I don't know if Jean-Pierre went off on the hairpin or not, but nonetheless, sorry, Caldebar's picked up the place on Jean-Pierre Père, and now Steve Kenwood has as well.
Come on, Pip, catch your old dad.
Yeah, I'm trying. But...
Let's go see. Where's that Steve Legale? Where is he? What position are you in, Steve? Oh yes, 11. They did nothing 11. Inappropriate. Indeed. No. Steve Legale. This is in 10th place. Tobias Herner was in 12th. Paul I think that's some weirdness going on.
I crashed solving my penalty.
Oh, Tobias. Are you sticking out, Tobias, to stay around for... yes, indeed. Good man. So yes, 10th place, Steve Legale has got one of the Legale clan, Paul, just behind. I'm getting some weird track changes, I guess, as people possibly leave the server. But yes, no, Paul is definitely in 10th place. Any close battles going on, guys? Shout them out. I'm struggling to see them if you're having a bad...
I don't know what position it is.
Kenwood Dubois, thank you very much. Steve Kenwood, where are you? There we go. Yes, 11th place, Steve Kenwood. They are side by side. Oscar, well, yeah, Oscar knows about it because he's there involved in the battle. Oscar Hardwick. Obviously, presumably you're lapping those guys. Oscar, yes, Oscar's come through. Steve Kenwood currently holding on to 11th, but Carl Dubois is just on the inside. Oscar managing to pick his way through that
impossible
battle.
To drive with freeze and lag.
Press turn off Dinhard. Number 5 key, Olivier, press turn off Dinhard. That was Olivier.
Sorry, but impossible to drive.
Press number 5, turn off Dinhard. Number 5 key, Olivier. If you're still on track.
Okay.
It is a Dinhard.
Okay, thank you.
No worries, you're welcome. Not had that bug for a while. I don't think we've seen that for quite some time. Even with the big grids we often get with the Formula 3, so that's a shame.
I break my car. Cruise, lag.
Oh, I'm really sorry to hear that, Olivier. A bug we haven't had for a long time, but clearly back with us tonight. Lots of drivers experiencing that.
Okay, I think same for all other drivers.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very laggy.
Very laggy. Dinhard issue. Theo
with the Dinhard off.
Oh, even with Dinhard off, is it now you're getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if that is still Dinhard related. It certainly seems to be partially related to Dinhard.
Anyway, it's not as bad, but it's still happening.
It's still happening, yes. So, anyway, we're riding with Theo Vanderbeek, and that was Matt Legale, I'm pretty sure we were speaking to over the radio.
Final lap, by the way.
Thank you, Oscar, on the final lap. Theo and...
was closed out.
Thank you, Edward. Theo is in 7th, Matt Legale in 8th, there's 7/10 separating the two. Oscar's on his final lap. 16th and 17th, we're also hearing is close. Who is that? That is Stuart Gillard and Edward Rocket. We'll try and keep an eye on the leader.
Oh, lucky.
Edward Rocket, going to have a look on the inside. Stuart Gillard defending hard. Edward right over on the marbles. Stuart moves back to the racing line. Can Edward make it stick? This is last lap action. Stuart Gillard right over on the right hand side. If he can keep that momentum going, then he will have the inside line into the double left-hander. I think the leader, Oscar Hardwick, is about to finish, so we will quickly, very rapidly move back to Oscar Hardwick. There he is. He's across the line. Oscar Hardwick wins the race. Well done, Oscar. Craig Patterson will be over the line in a moment as well.
Right, Oscar.
Oscar is over. We'll spin the camera around right on the finish line. The next one through will be Thomas Lankin. This is the battle between Carl Dubois and Steve Kenwood. Carl Dubois slows up and Steve Kenwood may have snuck the podium. Yes,
good
possibly.
save,
Thomas Lankin and through Jean-Pierre Père finishes. This is the battle between Edward and Stuart Gillard. Edward takes the position. Well done. Bart Zonk will be the next driver for position to come through. Don't think we've seen Bart come through just yet. Here comes a driver. Is that Theo Vanderbrink, maybe? No, it is Bart Zoink in the orange and white. So Bart brings home 4th place. Great finish there, Bart. Sergio will be one of the next drivers to cross over the line. A few more cars coming here. I don't think this is Sergio. No, this is Fabrice Bourguignon and Sergio, Matt Legale and Theo Van den Brink side by side. Matt Legale takes the position.
Nice. Good luck.
Mr. Lee, Steve Legale over the line as well. Well done, guys. I think that is everybody. Let's quickly go through the standings before the server rolls over. Oscar, oh my word, according to my standings, Steve Kenwood for a moment filled every position.
It was back there then.
Don't know what happened there. Oscar, so quickly go through the sorry. Oscar Hardwick wins the race. Craig Patterson in second, Thomas Lankin in third, Bart Zank fourth, Sergio Quattrocchi in fifth, Matt Legale sixth, having a fantastic battle with Theo Van der Brink across the line.
You must to buy the connection.
Alexei Spirichev in 8th place, Steve Legale in 9th, Paul Legale 10th, Dan O'Neill in 11th, Jakob Rudolph 12th, Steve Kenwood 13th, Carl Dubois 14th, Jean-Pierre Bear 15th, Edward Rocket having a battle at the end with Fabrice Burgagnos, that's 16th and 17th, Ingemar Peterson in 18th, 19th was Richard Lee,
for you
Sven Arne Anderson in 20th, Stuart Gillard in 21st, Olivier Lewis 22nd, Tobias Herrera brings home 23rd. These are all DNFs, guys. Yes, there was lag. It was primarily caused by
lag also.
DIN HUD.
Lag. For you too?
Yes, everyone.
Ah, yes, impossible.
No lag for me.
Possible.
Just before you
I turned off DIN HUD.
guys, hold on. Gentlemen, just give me 2 minutes to finish the stream, then we'll talk about lag and all the rest of it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. 25 million of you watching, very much appreciated. Thank you to all our drivers, 34, 35 I think we had. Really appreciated that you stuck it out, even with the DIN HUD issues. Shall we say good night, or whatever you wish to say to our viewers? Good night. Thank you very much. And please do come back for one of our future events. We're looking at doing an Indy 500 a week yesterday. That would be next Tuesday. An Indy 500 related event.
Yes.